Happy May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody here as always. That was a fun intro. I'm glad that worked. Great to see everybody. Thanks for joining wherever you're joining from. As always, start your message with the letter Q if you have any questions, so it makes it easier to spot on my screen here as we get going. Oh, good. Andy says wasn't expecting that. TVJ says live firmware update during a stream sounds like my channel. That was fun. I definitely had ChatGPT help me write that. But I managed to get it together and queue it up. And I think my microphone is even on after all of that. So that's always good. Great. Okay. Welcome. Things are a little bit chaotic this morning. If I seem a little bit more disheveled than normal, it's because I have already ridden my bike 10 miles today. Taking my cat to the emergency room. She's probably okay. So, but definitely was a bit chaotic this morning. I wasn't sure I was going to make it in time because I had to drop her off right before the stream. But I did make it back. What is hanging over the TV in the background? Oh, that's funny. That's a window, and it's the like pull down shade, and it is normally it's either like all the way down, but I had it up because it was really hot this week, so I wanted to get the airflow moving, and then apparently I didn't pull it down far enough, and it blew out over in front of the TV. So that is silly. One time I left the window open, and there was a windstorm outside, and it actually blew the TV over, and the TV fell. So, and it survived somehow, despite like knocking down multiple cameras and things. So yeah. Anyway, Noel says, can you show some clips of your behind the scenes just to convince me to become a member? So the Discord is the main place that members we get to hang out right now. On the Discord I show stuff about what's going on, whether what I'm working on or random just chatter. This morning, for example, got the play-by-play of the vet visit. So that is the main members perk right now, and of course like the things you get on YouTube itself, like the emojis and whatever. I will at some point in the very near future now. It needs to happen in like the next week or two, or I'm gonna get way too far behind. I am going to do a members only live stream where I go catch up on my YouTube accounting, because I have the YouTube work is all like its own little business. It's not actually an LLC, but it's its own business accounting, and it has its own like, you know, tax return and stuff. So I have a separate bank account for that and separate budget and everything. So I am going to do a stream for members only where I just literally go through and catch up on my accounting, and we'll hang out and chat about whatever, and we can go through and you can evaluate my purchases, my purchase history. You can tell me what I should save up for. You can marvel at how little YouTube pays people to do content on YouTube. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah. Oh, good. TVJ, looking forward to the accounting stream. Jeremy says, what's your middle name? I feel like that's one of those questions like you're trying to get my security questions. So, yeah. The reluctant marketer says, Zoetech fixed the SRT streaming problem from an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO to ZoeBox. Oh, fantastic. I remember we tried that a couple weeks ago and couldn't get it to work. I'm glad to hear that they fixed it. I will not update live because, oh yeah, speaking of, I should mention before we get too far along, I might get a phone call from the vet during the stream, in which case I'm going to need to put up a break screen. And I realized I don't actually have a good break screen. So yeah, I don't know why it's never come up before. But I did make a PowerPoint or a Keynote file on my iPad just now, like in the 3 minutes before the stream started. So I can always cut to, if I can find the button for the iPad, there it is. I can always cut to that and put up a break screen and then mute my mic. But I really need like a better button that actually does that. Also, it should really be branded better because this is just a default Keynote theme. At one point I made a Keynote gradient thing like this gradient thing with my colors, my channel colors. So yeah. The Dad's Club podcast says, pop quiz, what's your social security, date of birth, and address? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Matt says, I've never opened the window in my office, but I have my own AC, which is off as we had a cold front show up. 54 is a cold front. That's like the temperature outside right now. Anyway, so yeah, if you see a break screen pop up, it's because I got a phone call. Mark says, I'm scheduling a live stream of a football match. Soccer. Oh, for Americans. Thinking of scheduling the stream on YouTube and then sending out the link. Yeah, I would do that. Oh, and then there's a question. I'm worried if the stream drops and I have to reconnect, the stream won't be on the same link. Yes. Actually, very good question. It's super not obvious how this works. I will give you the short answer right now, and I have a long answer as a whole video that, well, it's the video that I have here is, it's called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About YouTube Live Studio. It is, oh geez, what's happening? Oh, I switched to a tab that started playing this live stream. Wrong tab. YouTube Studio details. So that's the full video. Definitely go watch that before you go live. But the short version is, if you, and I can actually show it to you on mine. So if you are in YouTube Studio and you have scheduled a video, which is if you're on this stream that's not scheduled, and that you'll definitely have this problem. But if you go into manage here and schedule the video, that gives you this URL with this video ID at the top, which is this URL, like this video. Then when you give it a stream key, just make sure that you assign a stream key, make sure auto stop is not turned on. And then essentially this video will never stop being live, even if you're not sending video to it. So it takes like 12 hours or something for them to actually like cut it off, which actually can work against you also, because if you stop streaming and then just close the tab, if you go to your channel page will still say that you're live. Like the video will still show up and people will click on it and only like see the last 10 seconds and then it'll just get cut off. So like make sure you have to click end if you do that. But yeah, once you have a scheduled stream and auto stop turned off, this video essentially will never actually stop and you'll never get a new URL. I can demo it right now. It's what we do, right? We break things live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my encoder and I'm going to start it again, and you'll see that nothing is wrong. I'm going to cut over to my PTZ camera, which is showing me the teleprompter that I'm looking at, which shows on air. So you can see the on air light. What I'm going to do is turn off the ATEM streaming, and then I'm going to wait a couple seconds. I'm going to turn it back on. So you're probably going to, you probably won't see the on air light turn off, although you might. It might be a split second of it. And then I'll come back to my shot. Okay, ready? So ready. 3, 2, 1. And now we're back. So if you were watching live, you probably got a couple seconds of what looked like it was buffering or paused. If you're watching the replay, you probably didn't notice a gap at all, because YouTube just smashes it back together. I should use that opportunity to fix my curtain. So, yeah, that is, and like it doesn't matter that that was only 3 seconds or whatever. If that was an hour, it would have worked the same way. But the auto stop setting is the key. Okay, but also go watch the whole video because there's a lot more stuff in YouTube Studio that's worth knowing about if you are doing this. Michael said I was 10 seconds behind live and that was super smooth. That's also, yeah, right. I that's a good tip. I forgot that if you are watching slightly delayed, you also probably wouldn't have noticed it. Oh, Keith, thank you for the super chat. 0.0001 of your super chat YouTube tax back. Thanks for your live streams. I've learned so much. Thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate it as always. Yeah, cool. TBJ says froze before one and then played one and was live again. It's actually really interesting. I should do some more tests on the timing of that because I pressed stop after I said one, but there was a buffer. Like it, or rather, that video would have been delayed getting to you by a couple seconds. Yeah, interesting timing things. But anyway, if you're on ultra low latency, it's only a matter of a second or two difference anyway. If you were on the longer latency, it's like up to 30 seconds, and that could actually like mean you don't know exactly when you're coming back from live. So that's the other part of it. Okay, let me see. Where was I in the chat? Microsoft is working hard to do away with passwords. I'm sure that'll go well. A lot of people are working hard to do away with passwords. In fact, there was normally what would have been World Password Day last week is now World Passkey Day. I thought that was clever. Clear Life Media says, last week you mentioned the drones and Magewell. Could the new Blackmagic decoder work the same way to get a drone to a live stream if we don't want a Magewell switcher? So it's not a Magewell switcher that I was talking about. It's just a decoder. And they're good little boxes. Oh, I was talking about the Director Mini because I was doing the talking about the bike stream. So this is just one of the things. So the Director Mini has an RTMP server in it, so you can stream to it from stuff. But they also have decoders, and that's the other way I like doing this is the ProConvert decoders. They have a few different models of them. They are called NDI to HDMI, but they include a bunch of stuff, including RTMP. And it's this little box. It's not exactly cheap, but it is good. This is, it does support NDI, but it also supports RTMP, SRT, so you can stream to this from stuff like drones as well. The cheaper version of this, which is definitely a little bit like less polished of a product, I guess, would be the Zoetech encoder decoder. It has both features in one. It's basically a little computer in there running Linux that can do a bunch of conversions. And it can do encoding and decoding, NDI, SRT, RTMP, all that. The UI for it is definitely not as good as Magewell's, but it does work. So, and this is much cheaper. Yeah, around $200 or so instead of like $500. All those are good. What was your actual question? Could the Blackmagic decoder work the same way? Theoretically, yes. I need to double check now about the status of the streaming bridge and the new streaming bridge like features in the switchers, because it used to be that the streaming bridge only accepted an RTMP feed from an ATEM, and I think they've been working on opening that up a bit, but I don't remember the exact state of it, because essentially I just stopped using that streaming bridge because I wanted to stream from other things to it a long time ago. Cool. Part two question. It's cheaper than a Magewell, but I'm not sure if it'll work the same way. Should get an RTMP. I didn't think they launched a new specifically a new streaming decoder. I thought that was just streaming decoders in Oh, right, they have the 4K one. I forgot. I totally forgot about that. They had so many product launches on for NAB. Right, streaming decoder 4K. It's for a ATEM or Blackmagic camera stream. I don't know if it'll work for non Blackmagic stuff. The streaming bridge did not when it launched, but it was mostly just sort of a. It was definitely intentional, but it wasn't like fundamentally impossible. But yeah, I mean, they made it for this workflow. I would need to test to see if it. Yeah. Don't know. Okay, where was I? Matt says, "Is there a way to schedule a stream on the YoloBox?" Yeah. So when you boot up the YoloBox, when you create the new event, you can give it a date and time, and that does go and make a scheduled video in YouTube. And in an update, they actually made it so that you can upload a thumbnail from that screen now too, which is kind of cool. But that should also schedule. The annoying thing about the YoloBox is if you don't create the stream on the YoloBox, you can't link it up to a stream you've already created. So normally what I do is I create the stream, the next live stream, like on the day of, so like later today, I'll go create next week's live stream. And if I want to then stream to that from a YoloBox, I can't use the YouTube integration on the YoloBox because there's no way for it to go and link up to an already created event. So I would have to stream just generic RTMP instead. I really wish they would fix that. It does not seem to be a priority for them. I don't know why. So instead, you have to schedule the stream on the YoloBox if you want to use the YouTube integration. The difference is whether or not you get chat control. So the YoloBox can grab chats from YouTube, but only if it's like connected that way, not over RTMP. Tom says, "What's the difference between the different YouTube streaming options? They seem inconsistent with the ATEM options in the drop down." Yeah, they are different concerns. So let me go to something where I can change the settings. So here is YouTube Studio with a scheduled stream. The settings that we get here, there's all this kind of stuff, which again, in that video that I linked earlier, goes over all these settings. You don't get any encoder settings here because this is just that's not entirely true. You get your main setting here is latency, which is just how much latency YouTube is going to create themselves. So they will, if you have ultra low, they will, when they get data from your encoder, will wait only like 1 or 2 seconds before pushing it out to viewers. If it's normal, it's more like, I think it's more like 30 seconds. I haven't actually measured it in a while, and it's also kind of variable. The difference is that if your encoder drops out, like I just demoed earlier, if I was at normal latency, actually nobody may have even seen it at all because it may have, like, that may have been enough to, obviously would have skipped the part where I wasn't broadcasting, but like you may not have actually seen a spinner because I was only offline for less than 30 seconds, less than that latency buffer. The other setting is in the stream key. So when you create a stream key, you get to choose the streaming protocol you're using. I have the beta SRT feature, so you probably won't see that. RTMP, HLS, or SRT. So if you choose RTMP, then you can also turn on manual resolution settings. And this is probably what you're talking about. These don't necessarily correspond to the ATEM settings. This is just saying like the bit rate that they expect you to send for a given resolution. So if we look at 1080p, they expect a bit rate of 3 to 6 megabits for a 1080 stream. However, the ATEM can stream at any bit rate for 1080, and it's also, the ATEM will also stream variable bit rate. So if you look at my encoder right now, you're going to have to look at it really quick because it's going to go up as soon as I change the angle. My encoder is streaming right now at 2.4, 2.6, and now it's going to go up to closer to 5. The ATEM right now is set to a target bitrate of 6 megabits. But when it's streaming something that is mostly flat colors, like a screen, where it's like most of this picture is not changing frame to frame, it can actually save a lot of bandwidth and bitrate by using less data and streaming less data to YouTube. This does, however, confuse YouTube because right now YouTube is getting less data than it expects to get for a 1080 stream because 1080 video in H.264 probably has to be somewhere between 3 to 6 megabits to look any good. But H.264 video, when it's like mostly a screen share where most of this picture is not changing every second, doesn't need to be that big. So it can send a smaller stream. But so if you eventually do this for too long, or like this actually happens to me during the intro of the stream where it's like got the map, which is moving somewhat, but not enough, and it doesn't need to stream at 6 megabits. YouTube will eventually show you an error saying saying you are not sending enough data, which is not actually true, and nothing actually breaks, so it's fine. So yeah, as far as the ATEM goes, the ATEM. Let me make sure I'm not going to share a stream key by doing this because I can't hide the stream key in the ATEM. So in the ATEM you get quality, streaming high, medium, and low, which I now actually don't remember the bit rates. There are bit rates for these in the XML file that you can change, but they definitely are noticeably different qualities if you are pushing video out. So like if you can, use streaming high, but if you're short on upload bandwidth, then you'll need to drop it down. The hyperdecs are not for streaming. You will confuse the crap out of YouTube, and things will break if you send them too much data. Okay, so that was that. Oh, and the advanced option. The advanced, so the HLS advanced is it's just saying that it's advanced and so that you don't choose it because not a lot of encoders can stream HLS. HLS is what your browser is using to get the chunks from YouTube. So essentially, YouTube is getting like a steady stream of video data, and then YouTube is taking it and chunking it into segments of probably a couple seconds at a time, little MP4 files, a couple seconds at a time, and then it puts those into a playlist of, let's say, 15 seconds long, and that playlist, and then it's like continually just adding things to this playlist. So that's what HLS is. It's basically taking it and chunking it into small files that can be requested like they were files on a web server rather than a stream of data coming in. So YouTube has the option of ingesting the already chunked up videos, where you can have your encoder create the HLS segments and push those up to YouTube, where it's then already chunked. YouTube uses 6-second segments. HLS is variable. It doesn't. It's very flexible. You can kind of see it if you look at your. Let's see if this works. This should work. You should be able to see it if you open up the network tab in your browser. You should be seeing it actually get the playlists and the chunks. So we can let this run for a minute, and then we should be able to see what it's doing. Let's pause. So we stop scrolling. So I'm guessing the video playback is probably one of the probably one of the chunks. Let's see if it has a content type. Well, I haven't looked at this in a while. Yeah, it looks like those look like probably the chunks. And then we've got live chat requests. At some point, there should be a request for the playlist. YouTube might not be a good example of this. Probably easier example is something simpler. Where it's more, oh, there's a giant fly in here. A very more straightforward implementation of HLS. So if we go to Owncast, there we go. We should be seeing the segments happening in Owncast as well. So there's the request for the playlist, which is getting the playlist, which then will have a list of chunks. So here, the .ts file is one of the chunks. So that's the actual video data, MP2 stream. And this is doing, it looks like just one chunk per playlist, and it's continually refreshing the playlist and getting the new playlist segments. So YouTube is doing that, but like faster and fancier. Matt says, for my simple YouTube stream, I've been doing 1080 at 4 megabits H265, and it's fine. Oh yeah, so H265 is a whole different story because you can get way better quality video in much, much lower bit rates. So like a 2 megabit H265 stream will look just as good as a 6 megabit H264 stream. So that's also really great if you can do that. Cool, where was I? Mark says, been feeding in live graphics from Uno via OBS using the Ultra Studio, and I appear to be getting some transparency on graphics that are black. Recommend a fix or setting. Transparency on graphics that are black. I think I know what you're talking about. So if you are in the, if you're in, this is my ATEM doing this right now, and I have the graphics coming in over OBS, just like you're saying with the Ultra Studio. The downstream key, one, it has my Ultra Studio fill-in key, and it is set to pre-multiply. If I don't do that, then it's doing a Luma key, and then things can get weird. So see how the whole stream got dark? So here, let's try to make this do what I would. Okay, so I've got that, and then I need a graphic with something black over it. Let me go to OBS and just make a little rectangle in here. So let's do like color source, black square. Oh, the whole stream went away. I need to shrink this down before it, in order for this to work. There we go. So I'm I'm making a black square in OBS, and because the key is the OBS is actually outputting right now to the stream, it just covered up the entire stream. So okay, so with that there, now if I adjust these parameters, you'll see what I'm talking about. Where I think, is it this one? Oh no, I'm not getting the transparency. But if I turn on pre-multiplied, then all this problem goes away anyway, because it's using the alpha channel then. Why would you be, so if you're not doing, oh yeah, if you don't have your key source set right, that could be a problem. So if I have the fill and key set to the same, then we've got a problem, because now pre-multiply doesn't work at all. But if I have it set, where is my black square? Oh, I can't do a black square because black is nothing. Now I'm confused about how you're getting that to. Are you chroma keying it? Um, Anyway, the way to do it with Ultra Studio is to make sure that you're using the Ultra Studio fill and key channels separately, and then using pre-multiplied, and then it works. I can't even manage to recreate the problem. Yeah. Okay. What a great time to join the stream. Yeah. Okay, JHB says, is there a way to add a T-bar to the ATEM Extreme ISO? Add a T-bar? You mean like physically? Or like... There's no T-bar on it. You could get a separate T-bar and use it to control the ATEM if that's what you mean. What's the company that makes all the little extra little controller doodads? I can't think of the name right now. Oh my gosh. Somebody in the chat will remember. Scarhoy. Thank you. There's lots of little controllers here that you can get and then route them up to the ATEM, if that's what you mean. I'll put that in the chat if I can get back to my chat window. But the new ATEM has one. So if you go to the new ATEM G2, if they have a picture somewhere. Weird. Anyway, this. They've got a little... It's not exactly a T-bar, but it's a little slider at least. It's just a lot cheaper hardware that way. Lorenzo says, I heard Grant say on the stream that Blackmagic Decoder will allow to receive a stream from the camera app for mobile in a later update. That sounds familiar. I remember hearing that. Yeah. Blackmagic makes a controller now too. They make a camera shader, but they don't have like ATEM. I mean, they have the whole panels, but they don't have like a mini panel. They have that's not true. They have a mini panel, literally called a mini panel for the mini. Where is that one? Where is it? Where do they put it? This is what I was thinking. So they have the camera shader, and then they have the little mini panel, which is the Bluetooth controller for the computer. Micro panel, this one, which is actually like a Bluetooth keyboard for a computer, and it controls the software control rather than controlling the ATEM. So you could do that. Lots of options if you want the little T-bar. Peter says, can you schedule a live stream from a YoloBox Pro and play the live stream from the YoloBox Ultra? I tried and made a new stream. I think that works because it should work because when you make the stream in the YoloBox, you are adding it to like your YoloBox account, and all those events on that home screen do appear on other YoloBoxes. So that should have worked. I kind of want to try it, but I don't think I have enough time. Because yeah, I'm gonna probably have to wrap this up. Not 90 minutes in, earlier than 90 minutes today. Alonzo says, any word from YouTube on when SRT streaming will be available for everybody? Nope, I haven't. Despite having access to the beta, I have not heard any communication about it. They have not asked me how it's going. They have not asked me if I have any feature requests or feedback. I guess they're just using the data that I'm sending them and using that as a test of it. But all of my streams lately have been SRT, and it's been working totally fine. So I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. Question: Can I stream from the ATEM Mini Pro directly to a Duet 8 ISO via RTMP SRT? I'd like to connect the two and still use HDMI for multi-view, maybe the USB for recording. That should work. Yes. I haven't actually confirmed that yet. I have the Duet 8 ISO around here somewhere. I have too many of them right now. Too many switchers. I need to start cranking through reviews. I've just had zero time for this. But yes, I do have one. Oh, there's a question from Dat Launchy Stark. Yes, I have the Duet ISO. They sent it home with me from NAB, or they mailed it to me after. And I'm going to do a video about it soon. And I will test whether I can stream from an ATEM Mini to it over RTMP, because it should work. It should work. Steve says, can't the Stream Deck allow me to do the same thing as the extra Bluetooth device for the ATEM Mini? There's no fader on the Stream Deck. There's no like slider. But yes, a Stream Deck with Companion can do a lot of, actually quite a lot more than the panel can do, on the ATEM panel can do. What time will you eat lunch and what time will you end the stream? Are you just trying to get me to answer all my security questions? Tom says, if you have two cameras and you want one of them to always use a background with green screen, how do you set that up? I assuming you mean in an ATEM, but if that's not true, let me know, because it is completely different depending on what device you're talking about. So the RØDECaster and YoloBox work similarly in that you take a camera input and you assign a background to it, where that camera input is effectively replaced by the green screen version of that camera. That is not true on an ATEM or the OC. Okay, you are talking about the ATEM Mini Pro. So on the ATEM, the camera input will always have a green background, so you would never cut to the camera input by itself, because you'll see the green background. You would need to always queue it up on the preview bus with the green screen effect, and then do it that way. So if you want to have one camera with green screen and one without, then you're going to need to be turning on and off your key effect as you switch cameras. This is exactly what the preview bus is for. So if I don't have a good green background to use for this, I could use my iPad. It's kind of weird. No, I can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a screen, a slide rather, with a green background. No, I don't want dynamic. I want standard green background. There we go. And okay, so this is Keynote on the iPad. I'm making a green background with text, and then if I play that, now I can key this out. So what I want to do is go to, so this is exactly what the preview bus is for. So if I go, let's grab upstream key 2, and we're going to chroma key it. We're going to use the Apple TV as the background. And so that's the, oh, no, fill source is the iPad. There we go. So this is the iPad chroma keyed over the live video. So I can bring this camera, quote camera. Oh, it's not a very good key. Let's sample the green, and then well, you get the point. It's not the best key in the world, but it does work. So the little BRB is a camera that's been keyed out, right? So if I ever wanted to cut to this camera, if I can't just bring it on air because it's gonna lay on top of everything. So instead, I need to create a scene in the preview bus that has the composition that I want, which is what this button's for. This button down here turns it on in the preview bus, which I don't have on my multi-view. I think I can fix that. I think I can actually put ME1 preview. Nope, I can put ME2 preview on screen. So we're gonna do it up here. We're gonna do ME2 chroma key. I ignore the ME2 thing. This is just for my purposes. You only have one if you have the ATEM Mini. But now we can say, okay, iPad is the background, not the iPad. The Apple TV is the background. So down there is the preview bus. And if I turn on upstream key 2, you'll see that the BRB shows up on top. Versus if I put it here, it's on program. Well, it also shows up on preview if I do that. So now that that's queued up and ready to go, then when I hit the fader bar or run the auto transition or cut, it's going to take whatever's on the preview and put it into program. So that's how you have to set up that's how you have to do your camera switching. You're no longer like switching cameras. You're using the preview bus to set your background, put your camera on top, and then move that into program. Does that make sense? So it's this is like the traditional broadcast switcher way of doing it, which is why people get so confused with ATEMs, because it takes a while to kind of understand those steps, versus the RØDECaster is much more like kind of how you want it to work, which is I have a camera, I want a background on it, and I wanted to switch to that camera and back and forth. So hopefully that helps. I don't think I messed up my stream. I wonder if someone managed to get Doom to run on the ATEMs. Probably not, because it's not CPU, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone could get Doom to run on the RØDECaster video, or definitely a YoloBox is just an Android device. Thomas says, my RØDECaster video doesn't show dB numbers besides the audio meters. Is there a way to turn that on? It appears once the audio hits the very top it clips. Would be nice to know the actual dB. Oh yeah, I did notice that. I don't think there's an option for it, so you should just write to their support and ask them for that feature, because they will probably consider it if people ask. Sandor says, thanks for the Magewell videos and live streams. I got my Director 1 and love it. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, it's a good little box. Came in 2010, need a live streaming audio source for Facebook where the guests can be heard for interviews. Oh, remote interviews are like a whole topic by themselves, and we do not have time to get into it because I need to wrap up in probably 8 minutes. There's a lot of different ways to do this, all with different trade-offs. Some of them are easier or harder. By far, if you just want to like get a remote interview done with people, like push out to Facebook or YouTube or whatever, by far the easiest option is to just do the entire thing, the entire stream in StreamYard. I've used it for a lot of things before, both as a host and as a guest. It simplifies things so much. Like, you don't get a lot of choices because it simplifies them so much, but it makes it super easy and nobody really has to think about anything. Then at like the other end of the spectrum, you can use Zoom and Zoom ISO and extra hardware to get your guests' video and audio directly into a broadcast setup like this, where you can, route them to individual inputs on your switcher. Those are kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum of how easy or hard you can go with it. Thanks for your time. Already looking forward to the OC8 video. I also am looking forward to that video. It's a cool little box. Michael says, I feel like I've had this bug in OBS if it's set to activate the Ultra Studio on launch. Not sure if it's been fixed. Just don't use that feature anymore. Oh, is this about the weird black transparent parts? Okay. Oh, here's one from earlier. Do you have an opinion or insight on DJI using a different compression than what the RØDECaster video accepts? Do you think at some point it'll be available to work? I don't have any actual information about this, but I am a little bit annoyed that the RØDECaster video is so picky about what webcams it supports, and I feel like they probably also don't want it to be that awkward. So I'm hoping that they do an update for it where it'll accept a bigger range of webcams, but I don't know what the reason is they limited. Probably processing related. But yeah, I don't know. I doubt DJI would change it on their end because like it works fine for most things. But yeah. Jeremy says, when's your birthday? That actually you can figure out if you go back and look at some of my past streams. Because that has, yeah. We'll just leave it with that. Peter says, other than the Director Mini, ATEM, or YoloBox, what are some of the other streaming devices out there that do 1080-60 with replay? I mean, the ATEM doesn't do replay, so in order to replay with ATEM, you're adding a bunch of stuff to make it work, and at which point you can also add those things to non-ATEMs. But the Director Mini and YoloBox do have replay built in. I don't think I've seen any others that have replay built in. Even the Roland ones, which I haven't used in a long time. Roland has like a separate box you can buy that does replay, but I don't think they have the replay feature in any of the switchers. But they had one of the first sort of replay boxes that's been around for a long time. Not cheap, but that's just how it goes. But yeah, like with the ATEM, your replay feature is actually happening in Resolve and in Ultra Studio. Even with a new ATEM, the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO G2, even in that, it doesn't have replay built in. It has the Thunderbolt interface for the like the Ultra Studio, so that Resolve can push the replay video into the ATEM. So yeah, I feel like that's just a hard problem, and looking forward to seeing more things that can support it. Oh yeah, of course, the other like class of switchers that does replay is all the software ones. So like vMix and stuff where it's all just in a computer. So Giovanni also agrees that Roland do not believe they are replay capable. Yeah, okay. It's been a while since I've looked at the whole product lineup. I don't actually know the current product line, but yeah. UVC webcams do not need drivers, so I do UVC webcam. I do not see RØDECaster video adding non-UVC USB webcams. Yeah, but it's more than that because UVC supports multiple different video formats within it, and the RØDECaster video only supports one. So there's like you can UVC is not unfortunately just one thing. Just kind of like USB is not just one thing. So the RØDECaster video just supports only a subset of webcams that support UVC. So maybe they will open it up to support all UVC video feeds, but currently it is not the case. And I can't remember the name of the. Now I can't remember the exact names of the video formats. This is like I said, it's been a chaotic morning already. So sorry. Am I a web developer? Kind of. You have a lot of questions today. How many cameras do I have? Too many to count. How many cameras can you count in the picture that you see on my screen right now? That's a fun challenge. I wish I had ways to like give out prizes easier, because I would give a prize to whoever can count the number of cameras in this scene. How many can you see? How many can I see? Let's see. Oh, and do you count functioning cameras or prop cameras? Let's count only functioning cameras. The real trick is how many are up here. MJPEG and YUV2, yeah, and there's another one that's like, I think, uncompressed or some similar high data rate thing. Is the OC Ghost Stream worth getting? The Duet is better, but I've got a good offer. The Ghost Stream is so if you're coming from an ATEM Mini Pro, the Ghost Stream, the 4-input one, like the small one that's the same shape as ATEM Mini Pro, is essentially like the ATEM Mini Pro, but they fixed all the things that you wanted them to fix about it, like the extra HDMI out, the extra the headphone jack, the built-in video playback, and blah blah blah. Like it's a very solid device, but it is still like the scale of ATEM Mini Pro. So you know that, well, it's technically I guess 5 video sources, but yeah. Sven says UVC cameras still need a driver, just one universal driver, not one per camera. Yeah. Is Jeremy Brown a bot? I'm beginning to think so. I am beginning to think so. Or do we call AIs bots, or is that a different name now? In Plain Sight says, I wish it was easier to do live streaming remotely without having to lug a laptop everywhere. I love the simpleness of the YoloBox, but I hear it's pretty cruddy without bonded internet. I mean, most things are not going to be great unless you have bonded internet. The ATEMs and Web Presenter are certainly not good unless you have good bonded internet. But I agree 100%. I don't want to carry a laptop around. Here's the problem, though. It's actually not entirely the video switcher's fault that you need a laptop, because YouTube Studio is horrendous on not a laptop. At best, you can kind of use it on an iPad, but you definitely can't use it on a phone. I even, like this morning when I was at the vet, I was trying to update the details of the stream from my phone, which you can only do on the website on the phone, because the YouTube app doesn't show you the scheduled upcoming live streams. So like I have a YouTube Studio app on my phone, and it'll show me like, you know, stats and blah, blah, blah. And I can go to my content and I can update old videos, but I can't see scheduled videos. So I had to, if you go to the website, you can get to YouTube Studio on the phone, but then the screen, everything's tiny. It's like shrunk down. And then like all the buttons are super tiny. And then it actually was like, we don't believe that it's you. Please go through this extra verification challenge. And of course, when I do that and I go through the OAuth flow from the mobile browser, it ends up, the end of the OAuth flow redirects me to the YouTube Studio app, because it thinks I'm trying to log into the app because I'm on a phone, and then it just breaks. So it doesn't work at all. So like even if you can touch the buttons on YouTube Studio on iPhone or a iPad, if you ever get that challenge of like you need to do your verification, your account verification, good luck, because it's probably going to fail. So it's really frustrating. So because of that, like you're pretty much always, if you want to be safe, you always have to carry a laptop with you to get into YouTube Studio to manage it there. At best, like you can cross your fingers and hope that the YoloBox will be able to start the stream that it's scheduled and nothing goes wrong. But if you ever need to get into the studio to change stuff or change your stream key or change the scheduled time or whatever, you're going to need a laptop. But at least I would like to be able to carry a laptop for emergencies, leave it in a bag, and only take it out if I need to, which means I would like there to be a good streaming rig that doesn't require a laptop. So yeah, do standalone network bonders exist? They do, yeah. So there's definitely like a handful of options for that. There's also this one, which I promise I'm gonna do a video on soon. KiloView P3 is a bonded video encoder. So it takes multiple internet connections. There's multiple SIM card slots. You can plug in a USB modem. You can give it an Ethernet connection. It can get onto Wi-Fi. And then you give it a video feed, either HDMI or USB or SDI video feed, and then it will stream that over the bonded connection. And then yeah, so there's that. Then there are also like generic network bonded network modems. So actually, I think the new GL iNet can do it. And then there's what is the I don't know. I don't know the full menu of options here, but there definitely are some. It's agentic chat. Yeah, no more questions from Jeremy unless you start the question with the letter Q. We'll see how that goes. I ran into this OAuth trap when I was traveling in London. It really sucks. Yeah, okay. Peplink is one I was trying to remember the name of. Yeah. What are you doing? Says, I had an idea for your personal chat plugin. When you bring a question on air, a fourth column with all following responses to that person. That's a really good idea. That's really smart. No, that's a good point, because I start talking about this and then other people start adding you and I don't see it because I've scrolled back too far. That's smart. I like it. I can do that. I will do that. I will put that into a column over here. So basically, as soon as whatever question's on this, whatever's the last question shown, anybody who mentions that name gets put into the column. Smart. Thank you. Good idea. You win something. I wish I could gift channel memberships. Which I mean, you're already a member, so thanks. But yeah. Post a live question in chat would be great as well. I forget the question. Oh, I mean, that's why I showed it on the screen, but I feel like it'd be kind of noisy if I put it in the chat too. I could do that. Problem is on mobile, the @ isn't really supported. I have to type out the whole name. Yeah, that is true. I don't get like metadata about the ats in the API anyway. I just get text. So I would only be able to do a text match anyway. The question is whether I would do partial matches. So like if Eric says something and then someone is on mobile and only says @Eric instead of full name, I think I can find those. I think I can find those because I'm only looking for any given time. I'm only looking for like one particular name, right? So yeah, I can make it work with first name ats also. I can also, remove punctuation. Oh, thanks for the cheers. I can also remove the punctuation from what I'm looking for too. Oh, look at that. Steve comes in with a bunch of gift memberships, which are not showing up on my overlay properly. But thanks, Steve, for gifting 5 people memberships. Let's see who was the lucky winner of the gifted memberships. We've got I Am Fatness. Steve was gifted membership by Steve. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know YouTube did that, but that's cool. Okay. Rich was gifted a membership by Steve, and Gary. And Maximilian was gifted a membership by Steve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not Jeremy, I hope. Congrats to all new channel members. Make sure you go to the channel member section on the YouTube interface down below and find the link there to the members Discord. It is 8 past the hour. I should probably go. I'm still waiting for a call from the vet, so I guess that's good that they haven't called yet. I keep thinking my Discord is going off. Sorry, is my computer audio being piped into the stream or is it just through the mic? I actually can't remember if my computer audio is turned on. No, it's not. It's just you're just hearing it through the mic. Okay. Okay. GB Media. Some time ago, you demoed an iPhone can be used on an ATEM via Apple TV, but that being said, it's also do a whole production using multiple Apple. I'm not sure. Is this a question? Yeah, absolutely. Multiple Apple TVs is totally fine. Eric says, I finally got an interstitial ad that was relevant. A Feel World L1 Plus. Oh, interesting. Cool. Okay, I probably should actually go before everything falls apart. Where is the Members Stream Deck link? I'm gonna I have to make sure I put it in the Discord somewhere, but it's aaronpk.tv/members, and it should ask you to log in through Discord. Oh, and a member chat from In Plain Sight. Is that going to work? Ah, shoot. I've got some API work to do to show that on the screen. It's I forget what it's called. It's the member like anniversary chat thing that you can do. Every at some intervals you get special chats that you can show, which I need to be able to pull into my stream better. 1 month down, I need to go. Appreciate you, mate. Well, thanks a bunch. Thanks for being a member for a month. I'm excited. Now that the weather is actually like getting better outside, I want to do some trial plane live streams at the Portland airport. I think it'd be kind of fun, and try to experiment with some different rigs. We will see. Cool. Yeah. Okay. We are gonna wrap this up. I don't have a Star Wars outro. Sorry, it was all I could do to get the intro to work today. So I wanted to make the scrolling credits for the outro. I wanted to make them the Star Wars style credits, but oh well. Next year. Although now it's gonna be like 7 years until Sunday is on May 4th again. So oh well. Yeah. Okay. Oh, now I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna go. See you all again later. Thanks.